Hello YouTube and welcome to another video. Now, I did a quick update video yesterday in which I showed my entire collection on both floors of my house and in the loft as well, and one of the first machines that I came to on that little tour of the house there was this, which was my Kirby Heritage. And I don't believe that I've done a review of this so far on the channel. I've done one on the G4, which was a newer version, which was from 1995, but this one is it's one of the older versions without the tech drive, and this one is from 1981. So working out the years old it is now, it is 36 years old, this one is, and it was the 11th year, I think it was, of this particular style, the classic platform that first started in 1969-1970, and this particular chassis and design went on until 1990 when the G3 was launched, the third generation, but we didn't get the G3 in the United Kingdom until I think it was about 1991, because it was slightly delayed coming over from America. So we ended up with this style for another year or so. But this one, the Heritage 1, was the first of the Heritages. It was followed by a Heritage 2, and then the Heritage 2 Legend, and then the Legend 2. So this one ran from 1981 until 1984, I believe, when the Heritage 2 came out. So when I bought this, it was in not particularly wonderful condition. It was very tarnished. It didn't pick up very well. The bag was all clogged and it was a little bit of a mess. So I've had to wash all the bag and clean it all up, give it a bit of a polish there, but I don't possess all the polishing wheels and everything that some people do, so you'll have to forgive me, because it's not as shiny as some of the Kirby Heritages that some other collectors might have, but it does me because I use this as a daily driver. Well, I occasionally do anyway, because this month I'm using both the Kirbys. I've got them both down. This came with the full set of accessories here, which I'm going to show in a little bit. I'll get the camera down and we'll have a look at all these. The only thing that seems to be missing is the Sudzo gun, and I think it's the part that goes on the front that enables you to use it as a blower, because as you might know, you can use a Kirby as a blower by taking the bag off and putting the hose on. So I haven't done a vacuum video for quite some time, so a little bit out of touch with it now. But never mind. We'll get it off the top, and I'll bring it down. So, what do we get on the Heritage? Well, it's what we call a dirty fan machine, which means it's a direct air. Uses the traditional older style of picking up the dirt, where it comes through the floor head here, it goes through the fan, which is inside here, and then it comes out here and it goes through this, what they call the Sani emptor, okay, and then it comes up into the bag. So it's a very, very simple airflow on one of these. It's quite effective on carpets, and some say, and I think I would agree myself, that it's a very, very good deep cleaner for carpets, the Kirby Heritage. In fact, there's another 2 direct air cleaners over there, which I did show on my tour yesterday, and both of those are dirty fan cleaners as well. One's the Hoover Senior, that's a 74 model, and the Kirby over there is a G7E, or an Ultimate G, and that one's from 2003, I think that one is, yes, 2003. Now this one here, if we have a look at the, I don't know whether the camera will focus in on that. So we got 18110 0054, well, I think that's a 3 or an 8. So the way you tell the age on a Kirby is the first digit of that serial number, and this only works after about 1981, by the way, because on the previous model, the Classic, no it wasn't, it was the Tradition, they used a different style of serial number, so you couldn't really date them from that as easily. But from this model onwards, they all followed the same pattern, which is the first digit is the plant code where it was made. The second 2 digits are the year it was made, so in this case it was 81, and the next 2 digits are the month of the year, which is 10. So this is an October 1981 model. So it's one of the very earliest Heritages, because earlier in 1981 they were still making the Tradition. So there we go, that's how you would date a Kirby. So the Kirby has always had the traditional style of bag on the side there, and the way it gets the dirt into the bag is via, on this machine, what they call the emptor, or the Sani emptor. And this one actually has this lever on the side, which enables you to open the bottom of the emptor up. And if I just demonstrate that by, we'll just put the camera down here and adjust it slightly so that you can see what I'm doing here. So we would pull this to one side, and then literally you are able then to open the bottom like so, and what you can see in there is any large items of debris that the cleaner's picked up. In that case there's some stones in there and a couple of bits of cat litter. It's heavy dirt really that wouldn't go up into the bag, so if you sucked up a ring or something and it was a heavy item, it would get caught in here and you wouldn't have to go and tear the bag apart to get it back out again. So in the old days, when they used to use what they called a shakeout bag, now this one isn't a shakeout bag, but when they did, they didn't have an inner paper bag inside here, so it just came through here and straight up into the bag, into the outer bag. It would have what we called a Sani pocket in the back with a very small zip on, about that long, and you'd put your hand inside there and shake it all out inside, and then all the dirt would drop out of the bottom here. And you put a newspaper underneath there and it would catch all the dirt from out of the shakeout bag. That's why they were called shakeout bags, because you shake them like that and the dirt would come out the bottom. So, but this machine has got the inner paper bag system, but it's still employed the Sani emptor, and on the next one, the Heritage 2, this was discontinued. So you found this on all the older machines, but this was the last machine to feature this type. Because on the next one, because most people are using paper bags by then, they decided that this wasn't necessary, and you just have to take it off here and shake it out to get any large particles out. So, right, inside the back we have got the bag, and on this machine, if I just put the camera on the side here, there we go. On here we have the yellow Type 2 Kirby bag, and this is rather a large paper bag. It's only a single layer, because on these old ones the filtration wasn't as good as what the Kirbys have on today, which is like the HEPA flow bags. Now that is a massive bag there. You have a fill line here, and obviously you only fill it up to that line to allow the filtration to carry on happening in the top of the bag. Underneath here, this is what they call, can we see this on there? Yes, this is what they call the fill tube. Now on this machine, it is actually a cloth type of fill tube. On later machines they used a plastic non-crushable type of hose. But this one here is literally, it's flat at the moment, and when the machine's on, that all inflates, blows up with air, and the dirt would come up here into the yellow bag. This is the first machine that I've seen this on. The other Heritage one I've got has actually got a more rigid type of tube which comes down here. So this is the only one I've got with this type. I presume they discontinued that because maybe when the bag was getting fuller it would use to crush this and restrict the airflow. That's the only thing I'm thinking of why they changed away from that. And then you've got your adapter here, which is like an elongated oval shape, which only takes the Type 2 Kirby bags. Okay, so if I just grab some of them. Now, what we've got here is, where does it say? Style 2, there we go. And those are only for the Heritage 1, because they have the oval shaped fitting on the top. So that was the bag system. I'll just put this back on here while I put the bag away. I'm going to do this up there. Right. So the Heritage 1, being the older type of machine, didn't feature the tech drive. So it was actually lighter to pick up but slightly harder to push along if it was on a thicker pile carpet. But then you would have your height right adjustments, which you'd press down with your foot, and it had 7 positions, no, 8 positions actually on there. So you were able to adjust your carpet very well on that. It's got all its hubcaps still on, which is quite unusual for one of these because a lot of them they drop off. What have we got on here? We've got our cable there, which on this one's nearly it's nearly 10 metres here. It's quite a long cable, that. On the front you've got the headlight, and like a lot of them it won't stay up on its own. You have to hold it up literally. So in order to take the front off, what we would do, like on most Kirbys, is turn the belt lifter, release the clip and remove the front, like so. And now what we've got here is the standard Heritage 1 brush roll. I think this is the original one, or what, I don't know. Some people say that they had roller bearings, and some people say that they had like a sleeve bearing type in this older brush roll. It used a chevron type of brush pattern, which is quite effective on the carpet. It really does beat the carpet well. Well, it feels like it does anyway when you've got your foot next to it, because you can feel the vibrations coming up from the carpet, and you can see the dirt bouncing up and down in the front. I'll put some rice down on the carpet in front of it a bit later, and I'll see if it does the same on the rice, and some oats as well. So inside here we can see the fan, and I believe that is probably the original because it's like a dark grey fan, and it's not the latest style which they had on the Generation series, which was, I think it was a Lexan, which was said to be pretty much unbreakable, a lot more tougher than these, because these tend to be easier broken. But this one seems alright for now, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it, so they say. So that's the fan and the head unit there. So if I just put the unit, the head back on, so I'm not so wonderful with this camera at having it down on the floor here, so just bear with me and have a bit of patience on that one. There we go, just put that back on. And turn it round. Oh, incidentally, just while we're on the subject of the floor head, let's take this off again. Now, with one of these, the way you adjust the brush roll on this is slightly different from the newer type, in that you've got a screw at each end like that, and in order to adjust it to compensate for brush wear, in other words, you've just got to have enough bristle sticking through the bottom like this, and you adjust those screws in and out, or in or out, sorry, which makes the brush roll go higher or lower in the floor head. So as the bristles wear down, you adjust those screws to make sure that they always protruded just slightly above the level of the sole plate like that. You don't want them too far out and you don't want them too far in, and then it'll be effective. Okay, so let's put it back on. Now, this machine did come with all the accessory packs, so a lot of the times you'll find that they were in good condition because a lot of people simply got sold them by the salesman and never actually used them. So if we just have a quick look at what came with it. This is the one box here, and we've got another box here which is the actual shampoo kit and the rug renovator. Now I haven't really got a lot of time on this camera before it times out on me. I only get 30 minutes and we're halfway through already, so I'm going to make this quite quick. We've got the handy butler group there, which is basically this part here. I'm sure you've seen these before. They clamp on the front of the machine, and then you put that long cable which joins onto the handy butler group onto here, and then you can put like a polishing wheel, grinding wheel on the end of it, and you can actually use that to polish the machine. I did have a go with it, but I wasn't terribly successful because it just tends to fling black dirt everywhere. So that's the handy butler group that came with it. As I said, that was the rug renovator there, and the carpet shampooer. So you'd attach this onto the front and you'd put that on the where the bag goes, and link that tube between the two, fill it with your shampoo. Now as it's missing the what did we call it? No, hang on, that's there actually. That was the inflator. I think that just supposed to go in there, and it's missing the Sunzo gun as well, which would go in there. But I have got another one there which is for the G4, so if I ever did want to use it, I've no doubt that would fit. So in this one we have the standard tools. So we can see we've got the crevice tool there, and we've got the shoulder strap there. We have a dusting brush here, the Kirby Odorific, which was like it was like a freshener that you could put inside the bag to make it smell nicer, or put it on a little bit of cotton wool bud and stick it inside the bag. Amazingly, that's still in there after 36 years, and it's still got the freshener in it as well. It's full. That is. It's crazy. People never actually used half these accessories. We've got a turbo brush here. Let's just pull that out. So we can see there that was a very early style of mini turbo brush. Not quite so mini, because this was actually quite big. And I'll put that on the hose in a little bit and see how that works. And then you've got your standard ends and bends, your pipes and tubes, and that's where are we? That one's like a hard floor head there. Again, look, it's actually never been used. It's incredible, really. That's got absolutely no wear at all. And that would fit on the top of the long tube there. So you could use it to do hard floors with as well. That's like a large wall brush there. That's the carrying handle, which you would put on the top and use it to make it in a handheld. And then we've got some what looks like Kirby Shake and Vac inside there. So I can get that out. So yeah, that's still actually, it still smells as well after all those years. So that's like 1981 Kirby's version of Shake and Vac that you put on your carpet. There we go. But I'm sure you've seen all these sort of accessories before when other people have done demos on this. The hose was here, so this would fit on the front of the machine. Okay. So here we go. Let's just quickly put the hose on there. So we take the front off, and then it was just a simple case of hook it on and do up the clip, and it was now in hose mode. So if I turn it on, and we'll just put that turbo brush on the end and see how that goes. I shall just put the camera back over here. Okay, unwind cable. Right, so if we get the turbo brush and put it on the hose like so. Right, we'll turn it on. There we go, it actually does spin that turbo brush quite well. So yes, you can actually take the base off as well and reveal basically what we get in a turbo brush that you'd buy today. So that's quite good for 1981, that was, wasn't it? The Kirby with a turbo brush. That's why it was called the Kirby Turbo on the top there, because it included this. Right. We'll just put some oats and things on the carpet here, and we'll use it in standard mode and see how well it picks the rice up. So I'll convert it back. It's one of those you normally need two hands for to do this, so we'll see if I can do it with one hand. Because the top won't stay up, you see, and I can't make sure that it will stay up on this. Okay, turn that back round. There we go. So, if I just put the camera back up on the top then. There we go. I'll sprinkle a bit of rice down in the carpet here. And a few oats as well, see how it picks up the bigger particles. And let's go. That's quite impressive agitation there. If you could maybe notice all the rice bouncing up and down, that's pretty impressive. Heritage, and it cleans very well considering that it's good 36 years old now, and I still use this as a daily driver, and it knocks a lot of these modern cleaners into a cocked hat. But the only drawback with the Kirby is the fact that it doesn't have the hose on board. But as I say, it is one of the best carpet cleaners that you can still get, and these are still available on eBay. You only got to go on eBay and look down the listing, and it won't be long before you come across a classic style Kirby like this. I've seen a couple of Heritage ones on there. I looked on eBay last night, and there was a couple of Traditions as well, which are even older than these, so they are still knocking around. You can get Kirby now, even a Generation series, a reasonably decent one for about £100. One that's been refurbished, you'll be looking at 150 odd. For say G3, G4, if it's being done properly, you know, you can expect to pay anything from £100 upwards for one of those. And it beats the £1,000 plus that you pay for them brand new. For the Avalier is a very expensive model, but like I say, they're starting to appear on eBay now for a lot less money than that. And I still think that the Kirby makes a very, very, very good buy. And if you want something that will really do a good job on your carpets, you can't beat a Kirby. They are fantastic. And this one, the older style, I mean, they are quite heavy, but they're not as heavy as the Generation series. And as long as you get this adjusted right, they are not too difficult to push, as long as you go with the pile of the carpet. Okay, that's all for now. I'll see you on the next video.